Hello guys, I'm Shopper came back here once again. And yes, shout out to the video. Genos' final upgrade. And I don't know if I'm saying anything about the webcomic or not, but yes, I'm here to discuss Genos' final upgrade in the webcomic. You saw the thumbnail of my interpretation of it. I'm pretty sure Murata's interpretation can be potentially better. Who knows? But overall, I'm here to discuss Genos' final upgrade because when you look at his final upgrade and compare it to the likes of other characters we've seen who are cyborgs, you see some surprising similarities between the two. Similarities that you wouldn't expect to see from Genos. And that main similarity is to Drive Knight. Now you've already seen before my entire opinions and ordeals about Drive Knight and how I believe he's connected to the organization, how he's actually a cyborg, and including the fact in the manga chapter 99 where they're discussing the whole attack on the monster. No, I think it's like 99 or 98 when they're discussing the whole attack on the Monster Association. I didn't read every single chapter of the manga webcomic, but Atomic Samurai did pretty much confirm my thoughts about how Drive Knight is actually wearing a mask. Because he actually says he never got a chance to see Drive Knight's real face, and it would be tragic if something actually did happen to Drive Knight. So it turns out I was actually right without actually knowing it. But the main reason I want to talk about Genos' upgrade is just not the design, it's the fact that, have you noticed that increasingly over a period of time that Drive Knight and Genos have become more and more similar over a period of time? If you guys noticed that, let's break it. And this whole thing comes down to Genos' final upgrade and the upgrade he had before that. Number one, his previous upgrade when he was taking going against that one family in the webcomic. That upgrade had different type of transformation with his blast cores, similar to how Drive Knight have different transformations in his abilities. Quite strange. It's quite coincidental that it just so happens that both of them managed to have similar, or both have some type of form of transformation. Sure, Genos have his blast cores, and Drive Knight only has his that whole tech box thing he carries around all the time. But that's still an unusual similarity. Unusual. It would be the major point of giving Genos this different type of blast cores besides from the upgrade. What difference is that? And you look at it. They haven't shown off similar transformation, but Genos now have an extended blade. He does have a lightning core. He does have a roaring dragon core. He does have like the supermagnetic core and all these different cores. It's almost like, could these cores be preparing Genos to take on somebody of the likes of, if you believe that Meta Knight is evil Meta Knight, or more than likely the Mad Cyborg? Can you remember, the whole reason Genos even became a cyborg in the first place is to purely fight Drive Knight and nobody else. Well, not Drive Knight, it's purely fight the Mad Cyborg and nobody else. Like, the whole thing of becoming a hero was just something that he did with Saitama, and that was it. That was it. His main goal ever since Mosquito Girl and all of them has always been to kill the Mad Cyborg, and that's it. Arguably, Genos never didn't want to be a hero initially, and he just kind of went along with Saitama and just became a part of the Hero Association. That's pretty much it. But you look at the different cores, I think it's like at least like 5 or 6 of them. Could the Scorching Core or the Floating Core or the Freezing Core be able to combat like Meta Knight's Lance, his Lance and the other attack, the Pawn, the Rook, and like all these different transformations that he has? Could it be able to combat all of those? Similar to how the Floating Core can take on Drive Knight's bike form and everything else like that. Could this be the sole purpose of all these upgrades to Genos? Because I do find it, I wasn't aware of this. I was completely unaware that Drive Knight and Genos actually teamed to take out a group like this. I was unaware of this. And I couldn't affect in the webcomic in the manga recently, they teamed up again to form one, which is quite suspicious because that's the thing. How would Drive Knight know that he'd be able to hook himself up to Genos and use his blast core from energy? Remember, they've never talked to each other. They never had any type of major interactions. Remember, the last time we got any notice of Drive Knight and when he disappeared while close to the Monster Association, everybody theorized it could be G5. And then he shows up randomly to go save those extra heroes against the end. So technically, they have not worked together. There have been no OVAs with them working together. There have been nothing. But how does Drive Knight already know how Genos operate? How does Drive Knight know that he can use Genos' blast core to improve himself? Not only improve himself, to help him out. So remember, Drive Knight doesn't combine with any other character. Now, sure, there are not too many other cyborgs in the series, of course. But that can't really be used as an excuse. If you can form a suit around Genos and leave his body unharmed, you could do that for somebody else. Just the fact there won't be any like cyborg enhancements, and they'll just be wearing Drive Knight, and that's it. And apparently, I find it hard to believe. There gotta be something else with Drive Knight, because he can't not be just a normal cyborg. Because you look at Genos just like Drive Knight, they're both really beyond the point of being normal human beings anyway. So, I just find it strange. Interesting at that. Because I wasn't aware until I just checked out the wiki, there was an entire arc where those two teamed up just so happenly. And how once again, Drive Knight reiterated, is Borfoy, is Borfoy, is Borfoy. Interesting. Drive Knight have multiple transformations now. Genos have multiple transformations now. And I couldn't affect whatever increased upgrades he got in his final one. Well, all I'm saying, to sum this all up, I just find it interesting. I'm not going to sit here and theorize how strong Genos would be. The whole goal of, well, the whole secondary goal with the whole becoming, say, Thomas Disciple and everything out there, he wanted to become one of the top heroes of the Hero Association. So technically, I believe he already proven that in the manga, but he's going to be at least top 8 with his final upgrade he gets now. So at least top 8 to top 5, somewhere around there. It depends how well you want to power scale. Now, cool in the fact, have you ever seen Drive Knight as Maxima? Because I guess in the end, Drive Knight didn't really have to do anything. He really didn't do anything at all when you think about it. He just transformed and he was just pretty much beaten on the end. Now Niang did attempt to get a few shots in, but he never did do anything too damaging or too long lasting against Drive Knight. Now that's pretty much the entire fight. Yes, I enjoyed the fight. I liked it, but also another thing I just noticed, when you look at Drive Knight's golden form, I just find it quite ironic that currently Genos pulled off something very similar to that. How Genos got mad at Dr. Casino getting killed, and he powered up to like, I don't think it was the high dragon. Yeah, I think it was like the high dragon score or something like that. And he powered up. Now he wasn't golden like Drive Knight was, but he powered up to a form that looks suspiciously similar to Drive Knight when he fought in the end. Now, suspiciously. And I already broke down the whole theory of how to believe that Borfoy, Dr. Casino, and Genos and Drive Knight are all connected. And it's all going to lead to the pretty much the conclusion of whole who is the My Cyborg chapter of One Punch Man. Because this just can't be a coincidence that they both have transformations now. It can't. It can't be also a coincidence that Atomic Samurai, I recently found out, proved my point of how Drive Knight is wearing a mask. And he potentially did not originally look like that. It cannot be like there's too many things that are just lining up just to happen to it just so happened to be this way, this and that. It's nothing special. It's nothing. I just find it odd. Extremely strange how these things add up and connect to each other. What are the chances of me just saying, well, you know, I'm gonna read some One Punch Man tonight? Wait, what do you mean you didn't get a chance to see Drive Knight's real face? Wait a minute. What do you mean you didn't get a chance to see his real face, Atomic Samurai? I thought that was his real face the entire time. Huh. Both have transformations, and both have similar transformations to each other. Because if Genos is the anti-Drive Knight, then what was Drive Knight really originally upgraded for? What was his original thing? Because you want to go by my theory that he was a failed mad experiment, and one of the key reasons he went insane was some type of major event. Potentially messing with his organic normal, but I don't think that's Drive Knight's true personality. I don't believe he's the stereotypical, I'm a rat, savage madman, I'm insane. I don't believe that, but I do believe that he's a lot more insane than he looks. He's obviously off his rockets to a certain degree, but it all depends on what you want to believe, because with this entire thing, it's just, there's too many coincidences. There's too many, it just so happens to be. It's too many just, well, I don't know, it could just be anything. So you look at it, the evidence does add up. You look at it, they are similar, especially with this whole mysterious final upgrade Genos has, and the attack, supposedly, of Middle Knight's robots in the webcomic. It's adding up quite closely. Not cool in the fact of how, some reason Drive Knight cannot take out Metal Knight by himself for some unknown reason. It's almost like Metal Knight is already fully aware of what Drive Knight could do, but he stalks everybody. He collects data on everybody, and Borfoy is paranoid over some type of major event or somebody playing playing and moving in the background. And if that's the case, then or should Draft Knight have anything to fear? Why is Draft Knight contributing the exact same thing? Because honestly, if he was serious about this, he would have taken up some of the other heads of the S-Class, or somebody higher up in the S-Class Association, and he would have just be contacting purely Genos just to tell him about it. Like I said, none of the other S-Class could do anything. Pretty sure Super Elo or Darkshine or Tatsumaki or anybody. Now, I'm not going to act like they have the best relationship with each other at all. At all. We're not going to act like the S-Class. They all enjoy working with their other co-workers, but you can't talk to nobody else about this, not even Child Emperor. He used to work with this man, who was already suspicious of Metal Knight, by himself. Too many coincidences. But I do believe there'll be some things we haven't seen before. I do believe there will be one final core that Dr. Casino added into Genos that would shut down all of Drive Knight's technology and never have to fight it out regularly. Or Drive Knight would have to finally fight without that whole transformation box and show what he's truly capable of. Cause we still haven't seen Drive Knight at full power. We still haven't. Like, that's the oddest thing. We still haven't seen him at full power. It's just like he's never had a serious fight throughout the entire series. Even now, he's not even on the battlefield in the webcomic, even the manga. Even though he could be used, even though it could be necessary. Because as soon as Sairochi went down, Drive Knight said, "I'm out of here. I'm running low on power. I gotta get out of here." Really? Really? You're running out of power now? How? Why? Now, sure, you can argue that whole golden form could have took a lot out of him, but that golden form happened a while ago. You couldn't go somewhere to recharge, then Drive Knight, and then just so happened he disappears. He's running out of power. He's running out of power. You know, he could have stuck around and maybe Fubuki could have did something to him before you find out. It was around the same time we found out Fubuki can upgrade people, like bring people back, or like upgrade him, or give him more energy and something like that. Could have got something for Fubuki. He just pieced out and left just that. It's almost like he was just there to collect data just on Sairochi and that was it. And he just left. Similar to how he was looking at Genos' divine specs when he combined with Genos and using his power core. Using his power core. Because remember, Drive Knight have done that whole fusion with nobody else. Nobody else you seen on screen. Nobody else. Could you expect he could have took over G5's body or somebody else's body or upgrade? Let's say you never see him combine with anybody else, nor does he try to upgrade himself at all. Drive Knight has been the exact same thing since we've seen him in Season 1 and seen him in the early chapters. We don't find that strange. He's just been the exact same. Always collecting data. Always hanging around the background. Always just... You know, I just... Like, there's no way this just could be some type of major coincidence and it just happened. Well, guys... Well, it turns out it's just so happened that Drive Knight was right. I doubt that. I do believe that Drive Knight is the Max Cyborg. I do believe there is some type of extra history and something between Burfoid and Dr. Casino led to the creation of Drive Knight and the whole organization, and now they gotta pretty much answer the consequences of their actions in life. Because remember, Dr. Casino has some reason to hate the Max Cyborg. Have some mysterious reason to not only drag Genos into his vendetta, but also go like, we gotta take it to Max Cyborg as well. Remember, this is the same guy, the same man, right? The exact same guy, where it's just like, yeah. And that's another thing. If that's another thing. If Dr. Casino was planning on taking out the Max Cyborg, and he just so happens to find Genos after his village was attacked and everything, what was Dr. Casino's plans of hunting down the Max Cyborg? Because remember, Dr. Casino have given Genos no major leads on what the Mad Cyborg looks like or what he could do at all. It's almost like no one knows what he can do. No one knows what he looks like. And what are the chances if Dr. Casino saw Drive Knight, he would say it would be Drive Knight? Who would say that in the upcoming webcomic chapters, Drive Knight mask might not come off? Because it's confirmed he's wearing a mask, so... All I'm saying is a lot of coincidentals throughout this One Punch Man that makes me believe that my theory is more than likely true. Because that's what it's all been pointing to this entire time. That's what it's all been coming back to. And this whole Cyborg Genos saga of the organization and everything like that is going to end with Drive Knight. getting stretched out across his back and dying. That's without a doubt in my opinion. Drive Knight's die. But you like it? I don't even hate Drive Knight. I am curious about why you chose to do this Drive Knight. Who made you like this? Who turned you into the Mad Cyborg? Because it's similar to the whole organization that was doing experiments on Tatsumaki. Just why? Because I doubt, like, it seems like there are a lot of scientific groups like Dr. Genos and other scientific groups that work independently of the government and everybody else. They're just allowed to do pretty much anything without any type of regulation. So if that's the case, would it be that far-fetched to say that Borfoy and Dr. Casino was on the exact same margin, were doing the exact same thing, was on the exact same secret scientific team? Would you explain why the two took two different routes? Borfoy went out to the extreme and decided to protect himself against everything and not even show his face in case the Mad Cyborg or the organization does show up. And Dr. Casino put all his hopes into one last cyborg, one last disciple, one last chance to defeat him, and that's it. While Meta Knight pull out an entire army and just willing to carpet bomb nearly anything. So, I don't know. Some interesting thoughts, some interesting theories, because it can't be a coincidence that both Genos and Drive Knight fights the exact same now. The exact same. They both have transformation. They both have internal upgrades. They both have something extra to them. Why? How come they can easily fuse and connect together like they were just made for each other? Now, cool in effect, we don't know where Drive Knight came from. We don't know what his goals are, and Drive Knight just been there. Arguably, Drive Knight is the character with the least backstory throughout the entire series. We know more about Atomic Samurai and Zombie Man and Child Emperor than we ever do about Drive Knight. We know more about Tank Top Master than we know about Drive Knight. Also, another thing, the more Genos have shown up, is the more you get to see Drive Knight as well. And it seems like the more relevance Genos have to the story, the more relevance Drive Knight have to the story. And also, another thing I just realized coincidental, it just so happened Drive Knight shows up as soon as Genos shows up to help out them, like the support team for the S-Class heroes. Like, I'm gonna honestly believe that was coincidence. It just so happened I show up now when Genos is around. Like, you gotta be wondering how long has Drive Knight been stalking Genos like this? How long has this little charade been going on? Because this is like the second time this has happened. No, this is the third time where this happened. Where Genos shows up and Drive Knight shows up immediately after him. Immediately after him. It's like a question of doubt. Immediately after him, one shows up, the other one shows up. No one find that strange. Genos shows up there against Boros. Drive Knight is there. Genos shows up to help out the support team. Drive Knight is there. Genos fights Sairochi. Drive Knight is there. But any other time you expect that he'll actually be a hero, he's gone. What does Drive Knight do on an average basis to make him a hero? At least you can say Burford got some type of excuse. At least he actually helped up the hero shades with a new HQ. What has Drive Knight has done? Yeah, he killed a few monsters here and there, but that's pretty much it. How did he make it to the S-Class so quickly? How did this happen? Not cool in the fact that if there was somebody also on the inside, which could potentially be that guy, the cyborg guy, could be since they have a heavily emphasis on cyborg in this upcoming arc. Could it also be the only reason that Drive Knight is an S-Class hero is because somebody inside thought he was worthy of being an S-Class, and that was it? And that was it. Just like there was no S, B class, or A class. There was nothing he had to do. It was just, hey, just let Drive Knight draw it, and that was it. Because Drive Knight have not done anything major or shown up to any major event where he would be, like, seen as a hero. Drive Knight has only done enough to be seen as a hero, and that's it. Besides from that, he's just collected data, and that's it. He only does the bare minimum and disappear. If it's not for the research, he's not doing anything. If it's not for the research, he's not doing it. Another thing, going back to the whole thing back with the Master Association. What are the chances that he just turned off his tracking device or a hero card or whatever, and he just faked like he disappeared and nothing really happened to him? Because I said his radio communications were out and something could have happened to him, but it never did confirm that something did happen to him. Another cool fact that we don't even know what the organization's HQ is or how, if DriveNut was damaged, since nobody in the Hero Association really work on cyborgs, who would actually fix DriveNut if he was damaged? Maybe I'm missing something for the webcomic, that could be on me, but who actually fixes up DriveNut when they get damaged and messed up or something? Because maybe DriveNut can be that smart, he can do it himself, but he doesn't seem like the type the one who does machines. He doesn't look like a Donatello man. So if it's not him, then who else is doing it? Who else is responsible for giving DriveNut his upgrades? Which would support the whole theory that he is working with somebody. Because usually in most cases when you can't do it yourself, you do form a basic alliance where I scratch your back, you scratch my back, because we got similar goals. Now eventually we may stab each other in the back. You never know. But for now, I help you, you help me, and the world goes on without any misery. But I don't know, it's just some interesting theories and thoughts and ideas, because it's very suspicious of how this entire thing is worked out, and it's very suspicious of how, like, everything's coming to accumulation. Now, it could be in the webcomic that Borfor shows up to save the day. I doubt it. Because if he told Child Emperor he had no plans on moving and doing anything, and he told Child Emperor to watch out for somebody inside the Hero Association, I doubt he was talking about DriveNut. There gotta be an executive who's also supporting DriveNut. Similar to how that one guy infected that Hero Association associate in Season 2, and Super Alloy Darkshine smashed the guy who was infecting him. Similar to that, somebody else has also corrupted the Hero Association. If this gets out to the public, then that'll be another major blow to the Hero Association. Another big ups moment for the Neo Heroes. Another one, like the Hero Association is going through enough turmoil and public backlash. It's almost like it could be a major setup. Huh. I'm just saying, one scandal, and that's another thing. If also the news got out as a Miles Mask being a monster as well. Another scandal, back to back. If it gets out, I leave the Dark Sun stuff for his own personal video, but come on, man, dude's for a reason. But it haven't been explained. Similar to how, like, I believe the only reason they stopped those two cyborg guys from turning Metalbeck into a cyborg was because they can't really 100% say that Metalbeck is part of the Hero Association, part of Neo Heroes, and that's it. Because they was to go through with it, and somehow Metalbeck is able to pump himself up and just go beyond that and escape, that would be public backlash, and that would give a Hero Association to say, hey, look, they're turning people into cyborgs against their will, or doing this and that, or giving a reason for the Hero Association to go into a full all-out war with the Neo Heroes. Because it doesn't take much. They're already competition. They're already causing problems, so to me, I don't think it would take that much for a civil war scenario to actually break out like this. But there's still another scenario. Blast. What is Blast doing? Where is he going? What's happening? And who upgrades Blast technology? I say Blast is for his own thing, but I do believe Blast will have more significance later on. But is this an interesting series of coincidences, don't you think? It just so happened everything lines. And also another thing, I just find it quite strange that one guy who's a cyborg, when it just so happens he's about to get killed or messed up by a Nian, DriveNut shows up. Isn't that just quite a helpful coincidence to how, as soon as Nian's about to clean everybody up, he's chasing out the Fat Man and everybody else, what DriveNut shows up? Sure, Genos was already there, but it just goes back to the whole, I thought no one knew what DriveNut was. So what was he when they started the entire strike on the Monster Association? There was no distress calls, there was no helping out nobody else, there was no nothing. But randomly he shows up outside. Did DriveNut ever even go into the Monster Association at all? And what would he need to spy on the Monster Association for? What type of data he's trying to get? Because aside from getting something from G5, which, if assume that G5 and him on the same side, then what would he be getting out of getting any extra data for the Hero Association? If he's not going to give that data to any executive, any S-Class members, but just pull out the same narrative that DriveNut's bad, DriveNut's bad. So what was he actually doing over there? Could it be the reason he went offline and everything, that also, just like how the Monster Association's headquarters was inside City Z, could the organization headquarters be inside City Z? On top of that, where's Borfoid's actual warehouse at? Where's his factory at? Because we never had that explained either, of where his warehouse actually is. Never had that explained either. So, could it just be a happy coincidence? Could it just be that this and that, and it just so happens to be that? Now, I think the organization's headquarters is inside City Z or somewhere close to it, similar to how Berthoid's true hideout could be over there as well. No one goes over there, no one questions it, and it just, hey, it's either going to be in City Z or City A, one or the other. Because City A is pretty much, besides from becoming a super headquarters for the Hero Association, no one goes over there. Like no normal civilians or people out of the norm would go over there. And if Drive Knight or Boyford would have the proper connections to be like, hey, look, I'm going over here for a while, for a few minutes, please do not disturb, no one would question it. S-class heroes that could be doing up to everything. Like Watchdog Man literally does not even move from City Q, and they have no problem with it. Has no problems with it. Just similar to how Watchdog Man didn't do anything against Boros. I don't think he's like a work with anybody, but it's just he has other obligations. So if other S-class heroes can just do whatever they want, more or less, Drive Knight and Metal Knight wouldn't be too suspicious that we're out as well. Because it's obviously that Berthoid is fearing the organization, and it seems like Drive Knight doesn't even mention anything about any other cyborgs. Because there clearly are things like G5 and G4, but Drive Knight's like, it could just be anything, he just don't mention it. But Metal Knight's the problem. Like, there's too many things that add up. There's too many connections. There's too many just so happens to be. There's too many, oh, they got the same upgrades and things like that. There is no way it's a coincidence. There is no way it is an accident. There is no way this is just by something by chance or by some type of mistake. It is done for a design purpose. One sensei is going to bring it all together. Drive Knight, Genos, Dr. Casino's, Berthoid, they're all connected. And yeah, let's put them over our theories and thoughts about Genos' final upgrade, because to me, all this makes sense. This entire connection thing makes sense of how it all connects together. It makes perfect sense. It all makes sense. But, I don't know, maybe I'm just going insane over these things. Be sure we got thoughts and opinions about Drive Knights, the whole Berthoid thing, and everything else. And also, the EPO videos aren't going anywhere. They're coming back. I'm just waiting for the next chapter, and that's it. Be sure we got thoughts and opinions. Like, comment, subscribe, and peace. Peace.